Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, and shall we see what's going on our lovely island Fawnhallow today? It sounds very weird when I give a different intonation compared to usual in the intro, doesn't it? Even as I was saying it, my body was just like, this is wrong. You're saying it was wrong. Do it again. But no, casual conversations continuing. We're definitely getting towards the end of a Scotland holiday. Sorry, I'm just like moving about so much, just getting a bit comfy. The Scotland holiday topic, so sooner or later I'm going to have to go back to the regular topics. But anyway, good evening everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 7:21 p.m. on Saturday, September 14th, 2024. What's been going on in my life before I dive into today's title topic? I've got some new wardrobes of organizer things, like these nice little baskets to put clothes in and organize the things, which would hopefully help out the fact that my wardrobe is becoming slowly inflated with all the new clothes I've been buying. It's one of the most annoying, not annoying, it's not like that annoying, like, you know, what realistic goal would I want for my wardrobe? I would want a wardrobe which has like the top shelves and like it has, you know, it's like one of those multi-door wardrobes, but like one of the doors is completely just like full of shelves essentially. Because one thing I'm finding with my wardrobe, what my wardrobe is I have a shelf thing at the top, and I have like a hanging, like a, not guardrail, what do they call it, just like a clothes rail I guess, at the bottom. But it does mean that most of my clothes I don't hang up, because like it's pretty crazy to hang up like a jumper or a cardigan or like a sweater dress or something. Like you're not meant to hang up things which are like woolen-esque or something, right? Because it's like stretches them out or something. I don't remember exact details, something along those lines. But it does mean that a lot of my clothes are basically sitting on that top shelf, which I'm pretty tall, and I'm like, even me reaching up is like, that's a high way to reach up to like try and grab like some of my clothes and actually organize the things. But nonetheless, that's what we have these baskets here for, because I do have like these chest of drawers, and I got another one now in my wardrobe which sort of sit at the bottom, and I'm planning to put some like baskets on there which for like easy to grab access to clothes, and then I'll have some smaller baskets at top to help organize everything. I need to actually finish organizing that, because I've organized some of the baskets and then some of them I've left. I just sort of need to like conceptually think about what baskets go where, which I could do in this episode. I don't know. Should I do it this episode? That seems a little bit insane. No, I'm not going to do this episode. I'm going to do that afterwards. But anyway, yeah, so that's what I've done a little bit of that today, and just hopefully I can sort things out, because there's so many things I want to sort out. Like I have this really nice shelf like next to my desk, and I did initially use it for makeup and other stuff as well, but now it's like been completely overrun with just makeup stuff, and it's like, you know, like my music books are like collapsed on the ground. Like they're buried under like sunglasses and other things, and it's like I can't reach them anymore. So I've got this other sort of like chest of drawers, this plastic one over here, which I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I think I'll put my music stuff in it and my D&D stuff. I don't know if it'll fit though. Actually, now I'm looking at it. Will this fit an A4 size book? Maybe. I don't know if my D&D books will fit in it, but either way, some of that stuff will go there, some other stuff will go on another shelf. I'm just trying to redistribute everything to keep things organised, because I love organisation. Anyway, not the point. So today we're talking about, I already looked up what it was on the photo album. Well, I suppose I'll do some Neopets dailies. It's going to be about the seal boat trip that we went on. You might be like, what does that mean? Like you went on a boat trip with a seal? And no, not quite. But essentially at the core of it, it was just a boat trip. It's not like a particularly crazy concept. I would hope, you know, boat trips are just kind of like, I'm not going to say like particularly normal things, but like particularly expected things. Like if you said to someone I went on a boat trip, I don't think anyone would be like, what are you talking about? I think most people would be like, oh yeah, cool. But yeah, the boat trip was cool. It was I can't remember the exact area it covered, to be honest. I didn't even really know much about it except for we were going on it, and I was like, yep, sign me up, I'm in. Because it was mainly, the main draw of it was the fact it was called like a Seal Island boat trip. Because there's like this little like rock of tiny little island out in wherever we were touring around. I can't even remember. Like, hold on, maybe I can find it. Scotland Seal Island? I don't know if it's actually called that, but Eilean Narun. Is it that one? I don't know. Images, hold on. It's really, really tiny when I say Seal Island. Okay, that's not the right sort of seal. Okay, it's this one. It's this Cruise Loch Lynn. I think. Loch Lynn. Is that right? Let's look at Google Maps. Yeah, that seems about right, because this was about the same sort of area we're in. Anyway, so I guess you can Google that Seal Loch Lynn to see what we roughly saw. But it was basically just like a cruise tour done by, I guess, not a cruise tour, like a sort of a boat tour. I mean, I guess technically a cruise, but like, I mean, when I say cruise, you think of like mega yacht, right? Or something, which is not quite accurate, but it's one of those. And it took us around like the area and gave us a lot of like information about the place, which again was very interesting at the time. But do I remember all the information about it? No. I remember some bits, like the fact that they had houses with like these black roofs, and they had like parts just for the cows or something. So something like that. I can't remember the exact details, but it's along those lines. But yeah, we basically went there, and we just were like on a nice boat for a while. Just there was a group of 6 of us going round. And we all sort of just like chilling, relaxing, having a nice time. We had some hot chocolate, some dirty hot chocolate, as they might call it, or spiked hot chocolate, whatever you might want to call it. Turns out you can put a lot of different things in hot chocolate. Like I had hot chocolate with vodka while I was in Iceland. I don't know why we're talking about so much alcohol. I can't remember what my friend had. They had it with what did they have it? Because they had it with something where I was like, oh, you know, that wouldn't have been my initial choice given the list of things to add to hot chocolate, because like it was crazy because we were just sitting there. We weren't initially buying drinks, but then like one of the like staff just went up and was like, saw we didn't have anything, was like, hey, do you want anything? And then of course we were just like, okay, well, now you said it, of course we're gonna buy stuff. What was it? I can't remember now. It wasn't the hot. I don't think it was hot chocolate and whiskey. It was hot chocolate and some other drink, which I can't remember off the top of my head. But I was like, oh, that's a bit crazy. Anyway, I had I ordered a hot chocolate Baileys, but then I ended up swapping with one of my friends, I think. Not because I didn't like it, but because they were just like, this is what they were expecting. I was like, oh, you know, I don't really mind. Spiked hot chocolate is spiked hot chocolate. So I don't know if you really call it spiked hot chocolate now I think about it, but that's what I've been calling it in my mind. I've never really like stopped to think about it. That doesn't really sound right as a way to describe it. Anywho, we had that, and I don't really know what I was going to say about that. Hot chocolate. Where was I going with this? Yeah, on the cruise, and it was nice. We saw some like history about the place, some nice sort of scenery. We passed by like a salmon farm. There was an interesting thing on my salmon farm where they have like this rotating boom arm essentially, which sort of like shoots out fish food for the salmon, but then they have like all these nets about the place to stop birds from like swooping in and grabbing a salmon, right? But then all the birds basically stood on these nets to like sag it downwards, like with their own weight. And apparently they did that not to try and catch a salmon because that's too far away, but to try and catch any of their food thrown from the food, like the feeder. And I was like, that's very clever little birds. There was like was it an oyster farm? I can't even remember now. Somewhere else like that. But anyway, the sort of like a piece de resistance, the part which everyone was definitely there for, was this like seal island, which was super cool. Like the boat like slowed down to a crawl to just sort of like very casually like drift by it because they didn't want to scare the seals or anything. But the seals were basically just all chilling there on the island, just like it's something like, despite the fact that it's really cold above the land or something, it's more energy efficient for them to chill on land instead of in the water or something, because in the water I guess they had to keep swimming. I guess seals don't have natural buoyancy. I'm not really sure. I can't remember the details exactly, but it's something along those lines. So anyway, that's why they've all eaten or something. They hopped up there and they're all basically just sort of like chilling, lounging around on the island. There's a huge amount of them. You know, I should have kept the photo album open so I could like look up the pictures, but still, I mean, you can look at it yourself and you'd be like, whoa, there's just like so many seals just straight up chilling on my island. And they were straight up chilling. Like, it was super cool. Is it the first time I've seen seals in person? I think I've seen them in zoos before, which is not really the same dealio, I think, So I'm not sure if that really counts, neither here nor there, but it was pretty cool to see them just sort of like relaxing. Like, I mean, obviously, in terms of interactivity, there's not really much you do when you look at seals just on the island. You just sort of watch them chill there and you're like, you know, it's pretty chill. There's not really much else to sort of like say about it. That's just how it is. But Part of me was just sort of just like wondering, like, man, what if the seals think when they see this boat come by probably like 3 times a day, just like straight after their meal times, being like, oh, you know, maybe they think of it as like an actual ritual now. They just like eat some food, then the weird, mysterious, you know, sea creature they've never seen before comes along. It's a little bit noisy, but otherwise it's just sort of mostly quite chilling and doesn't really disturb us. So if I'm relaxing here on my little island, am I going to do anything about it? Nah, you know, I'm just going to chill. Keep things simple. Don't exert more energy than I have to have. Then I need to. You just gotta sort of, you gotta roll with a flow. Doesn't make any sense. Or at least you've got to try to, I'd say. But yeah, it was pretty cool, to be honest. Just sort of like pretty chill, just sort of relaxing there, watching the seals and, you know, chill out or whatever. Sorry, a little bit of a pause there. But yeah, the seals are basically just sort of chilling there, relaxing. It's interesting to think, like, what would it be like from the animal's perspective, just to see. I mean, I'm trying to think. Like, I was going to say, like, humans would just be, like, alien race or something. But no, like, a lot of animals live close enough to human civilization to probably internalize that humans are another living animal creature, right? Because, I mean, like, I think it's easy. I mean, if you're a completely wild animal, like in the middle of a rainforest, then you just like chuck them into like New York City, they'll probably be very confused. But a lot of animals, you know, like especially those which live near metropolitan areas, like foxes, right? That's like a huge one, or like raccoons, I suppose, if you're in America. You sort of just get the impression that they probably, you know, understand the concept of humans. They don't understand fully the context of whatever they're doing, but just like, oh, these like other animals are kind of like weird or whatever, well, what they do, their behaviors. Just like I'm sure of how we find some of the animal behaviors weird, or other animals find other animal behavior weird, right? Anyway, not the point. The major point was the seals were really chill, so I'd imagine they weren't particularly fussed about just sort of watching this strange metal boat go on by, as long as it wasn't super loud and posed a threat, right? But yeah, we sort of like circled around them. Everyone was basically taking loads of pictures, because like, why wouldn't you? It's kind of the moment to take the pictures, and they're super cute, the seals, to be honest. The seals are definitely like one of a higher coefficient, I think, of cute animals, and you know, they just sort of like are big blobs of fat, right? They just sort of just chill there. There's not really, I mean, I don't know really what else seals get up to be honest. They just sort of relax. Anyway, so we're on that boat tour, and we just sort of circled around the seals, and then we came back. There was a lot of tours, a lot of interesting history and stuff, of which I don't remember that much, but still, at the time, I was like, that is pretty interesting. But yeah, I don't know what else to say about that, to be perfectly honest. That's just kind of how it is. What was I going to say about this? I don't know. Just sort of seals chilling, relaxing, having a good time. We love that for them. We don't want them to sort of go crazy and do anything else, right? We just sort of want them to chill. It's sort of like, the crazy thing is, because it's not like it was in complete isolated nature, the seals, right? They were still like between I'm not going to quite say civilization, because it was still a relatively rural area, to be honest, but it was like in the middle of like this loch, right? There's still like land inhabited by humans either side of a loch, and they were just sort of mostly just like relaxing there and just sort of like observing things which were going on. I don't know if they necessarily have like a coexistence with humans, because it's not like I feel, well, I mean, maybe I don't really know, but I didn't really get the impression that there was like much of a symbiotic relationship. More, it's just like an observational one. If anything, you know, we're getting more out of it than they are, because we're sort of observing them, and I'm sure that those humans, what an alien way to say it, the humans running the tour company get like a fiduciary benefit from it, while the seals are just, I don't know, it's not like the seals get much from it, do they? I don't know. Probably for the best. The observation of nature should probably be as nature is rather than anything more or less. Otherwise it ends up sort of being both a misrepresentation and something which ends up disturbing the natural order of things. You might say the natural order of things isn't necessarily the best way for things, and okay, I wouldn't agree, but I feel like that's also a misrepresentation of this much more generalised conversation we're having, right? The long and short of it is that the seals were pretty cool, and they were pretty just like chill on the island, to be honest. They seemed like they're having a good time, they had like a nice meal, and it didn't need to necessarily be any more complicated than that, methinks. Or maybe it does, who knows. Maybe we could make it more complicated than that, but still. Yeah, I don't know. Seals. I don't have any like fun seal facts or anything like that. Seals are just seals are seals after all. They sort of chill, relax, blubber. Yeah. It was a cool concept for a tour though. There were like other tours that we could have gone on. There was like one which I think was like a dolphin sighting tour or something. Which, I mean, I didn't realise. Was it dolphins? I think it was dolphins, but like I didn't realise that dolphins really swam near Scottish waters, to be honest, but hey ho. The animal kingdom can be found all over the place. It could surprise you where some things are, especially depending on the certain associations you have with certain creatures about the place. I feel like penguins is always a big one for that. Like people that, you know, think about penguins are like, oh yeah, you know, they're in the Antarctic regions or whatever. And it's like, well, technically you can find like penguins in South America, and you're like, what? And it's like just in the south of like Argentina or something. And it's like, okay, that does make sense, but you never think about it that way. Or maybe you do, I don't know. That's neither here nor there for me to decide. On that note, I'm going to round this episode off here. I don't know what I'm talking about. I have nothing else to say about Seal Island except for it was kind of cool. You can see the photos on Google Images. That's basically what I saw. Anyway, on that note, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been there, darling, and likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.